Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jess.
Wow, that was good.
Woohoo! I did it!
Fucking
Finally.
nailed it that time. Damn. I was taken aback. It was like
Ooh.
so good.
Only took me long enough.
So, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Relatable. I took a sick day today because I woke up with a headache.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Honestly, when I wake up with a headache, I have like a headache for the whole day.
Ugh. That's the worst.
Yeah. And like, I can go to work when I'm like coughing my lungs out, when I have like snot running down my face, but I cannot function when I have a full day headache.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Especially when it's moving into migraine territory, you might be getting those.
Oh,
It's
don't.
our genetics.
I don't want it.
No, you don't.
All right. So this is probably going to be, I guess, a low energy podcast. Low energy episode, but that's okay. We're reading a book. It's chill and it's calm.
It's just the start of the book. We're not at the climax yet.
That's true. Okay, so what are we drinking today?
Drinking my gingerbread tea. It's tasty. And I have a lot of it. I need to finish.
One day you'll run out of Christmas tea. Oh shit,
Man.
but then it'll be December again.
That's what I'm thinking. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a chamomile today.
Nice!
Yeah,
I like chamomile.
me too.
Chamomile.
I almost poured oat milk into it.
Oh, you'd have to start over.
Yeah, I literally took it out of the fridge, unscrewed the top, and tilted it over top of my cup, and I was like, "Stop! What
Fuck!
are you doing?"
No, man, that would have been bad.
Yep. And then I was like, I wonder if Jess has ever done anything that just like scared the life out of her to herself.
Probably.
Because this was one of those
Knowing me.
moments. Yeah?
Knowing me, but I can't think of anything as tame. I've done dumb stuff. Really dumb stuff. Once I left the oven on all night. Yeah.
Okay, that's really dumb, but that's a lot less.
Woke up to Furious Johnny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot less tame than almost pouring oat milk in your tea. What the fuck? The oven was on all night, huh?
It was at a low temperature because I was baking clay and I forgot it in there.
You forgot the clay in there?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have like a timer that you had to put on or anything?
No, I usually rely on my brain, but
Oh, I've learned
my
never to
brain
rely
got
on my brain.
sleepy. Yeah.
Now you know.
Yep. Can't do that.
We've had multiple occasions where never left the oven on, but woke up, walked into the kitchen, noticed the back door was unlocked. I was like,
Oh my.
oh.
This one time when I was dog sitting Looper, I left the keys in the front door all night.
Oh my god. Not in Surrey.
This is Surrey. I was so lucky.
Holy
I didn't
shit.
notice until mom came to visit. And she was like, why is there keys here? And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was very lucky.
Yeah. I mean, that neighborhood's a bit safer than like the Wally neighborhood, but still.
It was a nice one. You can't trust in Surrey.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So now I'm like kind of OCD about checking the locks every night before bed.
Yeah, same.
Good. Well, now we won't get murdered in our sleep, hopefully.
Thank
Unless
gosh.
you continue to leave the oven on, then a fire will kill you.
Yeah, it would. Hopefully Bonnie will have the means to wake us. If that ever happens. She'll wake up Johnny.
Yeah.
She won't wake me up though. She can't. I sleep right through her meows and headbutts.
I sleep so. Like, I sleep like a log too. I wonder if that's in our genetics also.
I wonder. Well, not Eric, but I definitely do. I'm really good at sleeping. My
I
hidden talent.
I remember a time, I don't know if this actually happened, but for some reason it's like in my head, and I think it's a memory, where like the fire alarm went off in the night at home, like when we were kids, and I just did not get out of bed because it didn't wake me up.
I think I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember this event, but I do remember you telling me about this.
Right. Hmm.
Or was it you telling me, or it was just knowing that this happened that you slept through an alarm?
I don't know if it actually happened, but if I've told you this before, then it's been a memory for a while.
Mhm.
But I'll put memory in quotes because I have a terrible memory.
Could have been a dream sequence.
Could have been a dream. But anyway, where did we leave off our characters?
I don't quite remember where Cersei was in the last book. And I think Brienne was given Oath Keeper.
There you go.
And sent out to find Sansa.
Actually,
Just watch.
while I was editing the last episode, I noticed you called the sword Oathbreaker again, and I did not correct you because I didn't notice.
I always call it Oathbreaker.
So there is
Like,
a funny moment in the last episode where you say Oathbreaker, and we just keep going.
God damn. And I might even say it again. Who knows?
I'll keep my ear out for it this time.
Okay. Yeah, it's
For
true.
Cersei, I think the last time we saw her was with Jaime in the last book.
Oh, wonder if it was at the the tower where the white cloaks were and they had a fight.
I think so. Yeah. He like rejected her or something.
Yeah, she wanted sex. He's like,
She wanted sex and he
no,
was like, nah.
not with my brothers in here.
Yeah.
No.
That's kind of funny though, because he's also the one who's just, like, just fucking marry me, like the Targaryens did it.
Yeah, the removal of his hand really, really put some things in perspective, I guess.
Yeah, and all the time he spent with Brienne.
Hmm.
Alright, so I will warn you that I'm kind of getting over a cold, so I might be sniffling and like coughing a little. Apologies ahead of
Listeners.
time. Huh?
Okay. Said listeners.
Yes.
Apologies.
Apologies. Alright, I guess
Cersei.
we're starting with chapter 3, which is Cersei.
Cersei Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So Cersei is having a dream where she is sitting on the Iron Throne with all the great lords and ladies bending the knee to her and young knights laying their swords at her feet. Tyrion appears out of nowhere and starts laughing at her, and everyone else joins in. She notices then that she's naked and she tries to cover herself. Such a relatable dream. She tries to cover herself, but the barbs and blades of the Iron Throne start stabbing into her. The more she struggles, the more the throne consumes her.
It's like a quicksand.
Cersei is awakened by a touch to her shoulder by her handmaid, Sinel, whose face is white and full of fear. She sits up and realizes her room is full of the Kingsguard. One of them steps forward and tells her that Jaime had sent them to wake her. He mutters something about her father in the privy, but she is too confused to understand. Or maybe she just doesn't want to understand. Another of her handmaids, Jocelyn Swift, hands her a glass of lemon water to freshen her breath, which I thought was fun. Nice
Should
medieval
freshen
tidbit.
her breath. Oh, okay.
It's too strong and she spits it out. When she rises, she insists that her father is heavily guarded day and night. Yeah, I definitely think she's in denial at this point
Yeah.
of what they are telling her.
But also, like,
Oh,
the last king was also heavily guarded, and the king before him was also heavily guarded. Maybe not in the one occasion where he got stabbed in the back, but still,
yeah.
just generally speaking, like, all these high lords and kings are heavily guarded, and they still end up dead.
Yeah.
So
Silly Cersei.
It's a dumb excuse.
It is. Osmond Kettleback tells her that they found a secret passage hidden in the hearth, and that Jaime had gone in to see where it goes. Cersei is suddenly terrified because Jaime should be with the king. Osmond, though, assures her that Jaime had sent a dozen guards to check up on Tommen. She orders Sir Boros Blount to make sure that the imp is still in his cell, and is happy to see him go, because she thinks her father should never have returned his white cloak to him. I don't remember who this guy is, what he did.
Well,
Yeah?
he has to be the guy who, like, sold out Tommen then, right?
Okay.
'Cause I don't think there was another person who lost their cloak and then got it back.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So he was the guy that Tyrion had fired previously then, right? Remember Tywin gave him the spot back?
You mean, no. Huh? I don't remember.
Well, because if he was the guy who sold out Tommen,
Yeah.
then Tyrion fired him from the King's Guard, right?
Perhaps it was Tyrion.
I think it was.
But wasn't it Tyrion who kidnapped Tommen from him?
Was it?
I think Tyrion sent what's-his-face, his sellsword, to snatch Tommen from maybe Sir Boros.
Right, so then Sir Boros should have, like, still not given him up, even if it was Tyrion.
He should have died for the king.
Yeah,
That's
so
the king!
I can see Tyrion setting that up as a reason to
get
fire
him.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that he only had his white cloak stripped, knowing Cersei.
Right.
He got off. Lucky.
He even got his job back because of time.
Yeah. They lead Cersei to the Tower of the Hand, and Sir Osmond tells her that a guard named Lum found her father when he needed to use the toilet, and he found him in there. She still cannot believe that her father died in such a way, but she feels strangely calm. She is aware that if her father is truly dead, then the lesser beasts are going to want to come in to fill the hole the lion left behind. She is confident that she could crush Stannis Baratheon if he were to try to take the throne again.
Oh, okay.
She is stupidly confident.
That's a bold claim.
Very bold. She's probably convinced herself that she won. She did the majority of the, how do you call it, defenses.
Oh,
during Blackwater. Doesn't she take all of Tyrion's, what Tyrion did? She took all of that as her?
I don't know if she really acknowledged anything that Tyrion did. She was probably just giving, like, Joffrey advice and thought that that's what ended up saving everyone.
I thought she told her father that the wildfire was her idea.
Oh, that actually sounds familiar.
Like, she took what Tyrion did, she, said she did it.
Okay. The part about the wildfire definitely sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But also, this guard, Lum, he found Tywin in the privy because he needed to go poo-poo as well, right?
Yeah. And I guess they all shared this one privy.
I was gonna say, the privy is in the Tower of the Hand. I thought that was made clear. So...
It is. I guess there's lots of guards in the tower, and they all share a toilet.
Oh, okay. I think I'm
Yeah.
kind of picturing it now. There's like one big tower with like a spiral staircase, and there's like a room kind of off.
At the very top, I'm guessing, is the hands, where, and then like
Probably, yeah.
there's a privy somewhere, and
Maybe a
they
little
all
bit
share.
below, like a level below or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
No one frightens her, as she has all the power of Casterly Rock with her, and she is aware that Casterly Rock is now hers. She plans on going back as soon as Tommen no longer needs her, and she thinks of herself as the only true son that Tywin had. Whoops, I meant Tommen no longer needs her. And yeah, she thinks of herself as the only true son of Tywin.
Hmm.
At the tower, she tells the guards in front of the doors not to let anyone in or out without her permission, and they climb. There are more guards at the top of the stairs, and the hall is full of guards and servants whispering to each other. Cersei is offended that they knew before she did, and demands that they all be cleared away. She is told that her father's body had been moved to the bed. And inside the bedchambers, her uncle Kevin is on his knees praying, while a few guardsmen are inspecting the hearth. She sees the door in the hearth is tiny, like the size of an oven door, and she realizes that a man would have to crawl to get through, but not Tyrion. And the thought makes her really angry, as she tells herself that he's still in a cell. For a moment, she does not recognize her father's corpse, because he looks a lot smaller and older. His bedrobes are hiked up around his waist, and he's completely naked down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she's just okay, like, ugh, okay. The quirrell, the, how do you call the bolt?
The Quirrell? Quirrell?
Quirrell?
Quirrell?
I'll just say quirrell.
Professor Quirrell?
The quirrell is buried so deep in his belly, between his belly and pubis, that she could only see the fletchling.
Whoa.
And his pubic hair is completely caked in dried blood.
Gross.
Very gross. She demands the quirrell be removed and wonders if she should scream or weep. She heard that Catelyn Stark had clawed her face to bloody ribbons when this phrase slew her son Robb, and wonders if her father would like her to do that too. She wonders if her father wept for his own father. Her grandfather had died when she was only a year old, when his heart burst due to his weight gain while he was climbing a set of stairs to his mistress. Her father had been in King's Landing, serving as hand to the Mad King.
I think it's very interesting that she's thinking about how she should be reacting instead of just reacting. And I have never lost someone super close to me, so I don't know what that feels like, but I don't know if that's normal.
I think I've heard of people feeling like they aren't acting like you should be, but I think it's because they're probably in shock and the emotions haven't gotten in yet.
Right. I would argue that this is different because she's thinking more about how to portray herself, it seems like, versus just not knowing how to react.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and it seems a little like sociopathic to me, which kind of is
sounds a lot like Cersei.
Yeah, it lines up with what we already know about her. Again, maybe I'm like reading into it, but that's kind of what it looks like.
I mean,
to me.
It is Cersei.
Yeah.
She chastises the guards for leaving him like that and reminds them that he was hand of the king and that the bell should be rung for him as they rung for her late husband. She notices Maester Pycelle is not there and demands that he be brought over at once. She's told that Pycelle was there and had left to summon the Silent Sisters. She's furious when she realizes that she had been sent for last. And she is utterly disgusted with Pycelle for being too delicate to soil his hands with her father's body and demands they find another maester. One of the guards returns with a gray-haired man who claims that he used to be a maester. She recognizes his face, but doesn't quite know who he is. She asks about his lack of a maester's chain, and he tells her that it was stripped from him, and that his name is Qyburn. Hi, Qyburn. And it was he who treated Jaime Stump. He tells her that the Citadel took his chain, but they did not take his knowledge. She orders him to take the coil up from her father's body and prepare him for the Silent Sisters. Qyburn approaches the bed and pauses. He asks what he should do with the girl's body. Cersei's like, what?
Huh? Girl?
So she rounds the bed to find Shay, naked, cold, and pink except for her blackened face, with the chain of golden linked hands buried deep in her neck.
No. I don't
Goodness
like that.
Me, what a horrendous description.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's not pleasant. Tyrion, what have you done?
What have you done? Cersei demands to know why the whore is on her father's bed. One of the guards says that she was found there, but Cersei does not believe it. Her father had no use of whores, and he despised all whores. She remembers when Tywin returned to Casterly Rock when her grandfather died, only to find his mistress in his mother's jewels and gowns. He had stripped her and paraded her naked throughout the streets of Lannisport, so she can tell every man in the city that she was a thief and a harlot. So there's no way Tywin consorted with whores. And I'm like, it sounds to me like Tywin was a huge hypocrite.
It's like that sort of, I don't know how you would call it, but it's that whole thing about gay men being targeted by closeted men who are like questioning their own sexuality.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. And also, like, it's a power thing as well. You want to display your power over this marginalized group that you hate.
Oh my god.
And
she was so frightened of him too.
Shay?
Yeah, I remember in Tyrion's chapter when he murders her, she was terrified of Tywin.
Right, because he probably was not hiding the fact that he fucking hated her.
Or thought she was disgusting or a lowlife.
Yeah, and yet he still either he like
desired her.
Yeah, actually desired her and was attracted to her and kind of hated himself for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he was displaying his power over her by being able to, one, hate her and tell her she's disgusting while also using her for her services at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's not it's not an uncommon thing, especially in like true crime.
No it ain't.
Yeah.
Qyburn suggests that Tywin was probably questioning her about the whereabouts of Sansa Stark, as she was the girl's handmaid. Cersei agrees with this narrative right away and insists that it must be true, but she can hear Tyrion whisper in her head that there is no better way to question the handmaid than to strip her naked and have her open her legs. It's too much for Cersei, and she demands the body be taken away and disposed of in secret. She makes the guards swear to forget her body was ever there, because it wasn't. As the two guards take her body, she tells them that they must bring back the chain and not to scratch it. And that is the end of Shay. Bye-bye, Shay.
Bye, Shay.
What are they gonna do? Dump her in the water? Black water? Feed her to the dogs?
Throw her down the privy hole.
Very well could. Wait, don't privies just lead to the outside? You basically shitting down the side of the tower?
I think at King's Landing, the Hands Tower probably would dump straight into the water.
Oh.
That would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. Jaime emerges from the hearth, and Cersei rushes to him asking if he found the killers. He tells her that the shaft goes down to a room where half a dozen tunnels meet, each one with a door that's being chained and locked. He came back to find the keys, and he thinks whoever did this might still be lurking in the walls and needs to go back. She wants the killer found and killed and demands they tear down the walls of the tower. Jaime pulls her into a tight hug and she instantly melts. She wants to kiss him but resigns herself to have him later. She tells him that it's up to them to take over for their father now, and tells him that he must take over as hand to the king. Jaime pushes her away and refuses, saying not to ask him to rule. Her uncle, Qyburn, and some of the guards heard that, and her cheeks redden with humiliation. She spits at him, and that she said nothing of ruling, and that it will be her job as Queen Regent. Jaime says he doesn't know who he pities more than, Tommen or the Seven Kingdoms. Whoa. Jaime is just fighting her.
He is not playing anymore, dude.
Cersei slaps Jaime across the face, leaving a red mark on his cheek. Yeah. Uncle Kevin stands and chastises them for fighting while their dead father lies in front of them. Jaime begs for forgiveness and says Cersei.
That's new.
He says Cersei is sick with grief and forgets herself. Cersei nearly slaps him again, but holds back. Man, he's like going after her. It's so little tolerance for her nowadays.
Yeah, what on earth?
Maybe like only he sees the narcissism and he's just not into it anymore.
Yeah, I think he has a little bit more. He's had to have a little bit more
humble
self-value. Yeah, like he has to learn to love other things about himself that are not so shallow as being like the best fighter in the Seven Kingdoms or whatever.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I don't know, it just opens your world up a bit. Opens your world view.
Just a little.
And I was like, I don't deserve to be treated like this.
No, you don't. You don't. She instead thinks that her uncle Kevin must be the next hand, as he was always obedient to her father. She thinks about the Tyrells and that they need to be watched, and is about to command for Lord Varys when she realizes that he is not there.
Huh?
Anything of importance that happens in the Red Keep draws Lord Varys. And she feels cold as she realizes that Lord Varys must have been a part of this. She thinks about how Tywin did not care for the Master of Whisperers and thinks that somewhere along the way, Lord Varys must have sided with Stannis and allowed some cutthroat into her father's chambers.
Well, she's not stupid, but she's also not exactly right.
No. She orders Mern Trant to find Lord Varys and bring him to her. Once he leaves, Sir Boros Blount returns and tells her that the imp's cell is wide open and he is gone. Dun, dun, dun. She's stunned. Yeah. She gave orders to have him guarded night and day. Blount says one of the jailers is missing, but he found 2 other guards fast asleep at their posts. Shaking with fury, she tells him that she hoped he did not wake them. He asks how long he should let them sleep, and she tells them to make sure they never wake up.
Damn.
Her legs go weak as she realizes that the imp is coming for her next. She briefly remembers laughing in the face of a witch who had told her that she would die by her brother's hand, and realizes that the witch saw her doom. What? Oh. Sir Boros touches her arm, and she tells him to get away from her. Boros asks if he should bring her a cup of water, but it is Tyrion's blood she needs. Is that chapter?
Okay, hold up. So, do you remember how this prophecy thing went?
In the show, sort of. I did.
You don't remember how it was described in the book?
I haven't read it in the book.
I thought she had told someone about it.
Did she? I don't remember that.
I thought, yeah. Didn't she?
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was telling someone.
Who?
Fuck, I don't remember. So, what do you remember from the show?
She asked for her future. She needs the blood to see it. Something about having children, marrying a king, becoming a queen, having children with golden hair, but being told that none of them will be princesses. or princes, and none of them would grow old.
Okay.
And being told something along the lines of a younger, more beautiful queen's going to take over, and one of her brothers was going to kill her. Something like that.
She would die at the hands of her brother.
Yeah.
And she obviously interpreted that to be Tyrion.
Yeah, she did.
So that just made me think when you said die by the hands of her brother that I guess it was supposed to be Jaime.
Personally believed it was supposed to be Jaime.
Yeah.
Until D&D came and fucked it up.
Yeah, because, that's kind of the theory that I've heard throughout the show, that it was Jaime's destiny to, like, kill Cersei. So, yeah, you reading this just now just reminded me of that. And I kind of see why people thought that was the case now.
Yeah.
Because it's never the obvious answer when it comes to George.
And I know that she also thought this younger, more beautiful queen was Queen Marjorie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we also know that that's probably not what that meant.
No.
God, I love prophecies.
Me too. Frick.
I like them when they're done well. I think they're overdone to the point, in fantasy stories, to the point that it's just, like, annoying because there's nothing interesting about the way they're done usually.
Yeah, they're like straight to the point. There's nothing like that makes you like really think.
Yeah, so it's cool when there's like it kind of subverts your expectations, or there's something more to it that just makes it a little more interesting and something more to think about. Like even the Harry Potter one, it's interesting because it could mean Neville just as much as it means Harry.
Yeah, it only became Harry because Voldemort chose Harry.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes that one interesting.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. Even if there's not like 1,000 ways to interpret it, there's only like one way, but that one way could mean Neville or Harry. Anyway, this could be interpreted 1,000 different ways.
It totally could. I hope in one of her chapters that she goes more into this prophecy. Or she remembers this witch a little bit more.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking, like, maybe I was just remembering the scene from
the show.
I could have sworn that we had seen it in the book somewhere already, but...
I'm so disappointed in myself.
No, you would remember more than me, so...
Maybe. I am a stoner.
And yet, you still somehow have a better
memory. I'm good at remembering things back before I smoked lots of weed.
Oh, damn, dude. Do you think Cersei actually wants the Iron Throne at this point?
I think she wants to be respected and treated better than everyone else.
I would agree with that. We've seen a lot of evidence the last few times we've seen her of her just wanting to be treated like a man, essentially, because the man has the power.
Not just a man, but a Lannister. Someone who's better than everyone else.
Yes, she wants to be treated like a Lannister man.
As Lord Tywin's son, that's what she wants.
Yeah, and that desire for power, I guess, would translate to her wanting the Iron Throne. There's no greater power.
Could be.
That makes sense to me. Hey everyone, just a quick aside. We just became affiliates of Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform we use for our podcast. If you are interested in creating your own podcast, please consider using Buzzsprout. It made it easy to get our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and dozens of other streaming platforms. They also provide you with a podcast website, detailed analytics to see how your episodes are performing, and tons of guides on how to improve your listenability. And if you follow our link in the episode description, you will get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Thank you! Back to the episode. Next we have Chapter 4.
Brienne!
Our girl Brienne!
Brienne! I like her. Alright.
Me too. God, she makes me happy.
Brienne makes her way through a village, questioning every villager she sees if they had seen a beautiful highborn maid with red hair and blue eyes of 13, traveling with either...
No. She says auburn hair.
Okay. Whatever. Traveling with either a fat knight or a fat fool. But she does not say Sansa's name. No one knows who she's talking about, so no one sees her.
I just pointed out the auburn hair part because there is, at one point, someone who's like, what is auburn hair?
Yeah, I read that. It's brownish red.
Yeah. Reddish brown.
I remember when I was like 17, a character was described with auburn hair and I didn't know it, so I googled it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's certain words that are like super uncommon. You do not hear them.
Growing up, I never heard auburn.
Yeah, no one says auburn. No one. Ever.
On our household.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone use the word in real life. I genuinely can't think of a time. Either. Auburn? No.
Someone might have, but I don't have no memory.
Yeah, same.
Brienne returns to the road and rides north to Duskendale on the mare that Jaime had given her. And I looked on the map, and Duskendale is kind of close to Dragonstone.
This is the place that I've brought this up a million times.
Well, shit.
And it's been confusing every time I've brought it up.
Okay.
This is the place that Robb's men took. And then Robb was like, why the fuck did they take this place?
That is the place?
Duskendale, yeah.
Robb's men... Why the fuck?
Yeah.
No wonder he was confused.
Yep.
I wonder, what the fuck were they thinking?
I think we were speculating that maybe it was, like the Karstarks or the Boltons or someone who, like, wasn't really on Robb's side.
Oh, okay.
But were technically Robb's men.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, more sense, because, like, it's just dumb.
Yeah. And he was very upset about it before he died. And it was shortly before he died. So.
Okay, yeah, it's probably something to distract him.
Mm-hmm. But I still don't understand the significance of it. And I feel like you've looked it up before, but we still didn't get a straight answer.
I still don't get it.
Okay, maybe we'll look it up after we're done this chapter. Or we'll try and see if we can find anything else about it.
About what?
About
why Duskendale's important?
Yeah, and like why his men took it, and two, why it was so upsetting to Robb.
Okay. Brienne believes that Sansa has left the city, but she has no idea where to start looking. She asks herself what would she do if she were newly flowered and scared and desperate. And she knows that she would return home to Tarth. Winterfell, however, has been sacked and burnt, and her parents murdered. She doesn't think Sansa could have taken a ship, since the harbor is still in ruins, and Brienne had asked around, and no ship left the night of the Purple Wedding. There are a lot of travelers on the King's Road, and she questions everyone she can. One old man told her that the road to Duskendale is safe, but past it is full of outlaws and bandits, which is why it was busy as fuck. Brienne notices that the broadleaf trees have turned red and brown and are starting to fall. Winter is coming. She begins to feel disheartened when she realizes how impossible her mission is, and starts to angrily wonder if Sansa is actually dead and Jaime had sent her out as a cruel joke. But she catches herself and acknowledges that he would never do that, and thinks of the sword he gave her. Oathkeeper.
Keeper.
Keeper. She remembers her oath to Catelyn Stark and is taking it more seriously now that she's dead. It is a more grim promise now.
Right.
She knows that the younger daughter, Arya, is dead. Apparently, it had come to light that the Arya that married Roose Bolton's bastard is a fraud. Oh, no, more about that.
Oh, I don't think it's come to light. I think Jaime just made sure that she knew that.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah, I think he told her that.
Yeah, he did tell her that in the last one. That he doesn't believe it's actually Arya.
No, he knows it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So people still believe that it's Arya. Alright.
I think so. That's what I understood.
Okay. Because I was confused, like, when did this happen? Alrighty. When it's almost night, she finds a campfire with two men grilling trout. One described as old, and the other as less old. The younger one calls out to her, inviting her to share their fish, mistaking her as a knight and a man, which Brienne is used to. So she is wearing a great helm. And I was like, what is that? I googled it. And man, that's intimidating.
A great helm? Okay.
Yeah, it's based... Do you remember that Monty Python Holy Grail? The knight that goes...
Oh, it's one of those,
who loses all of his arms and still insists on fighting. It's that one that covers your entire fucking face.
It just looks like a bucket, an upside down bucket that you just slapped over your face.
It does.
Interesting.
So she takes it off and her hair billows out about her shoulder. Which made me immediately think of Bean from Disenchantment. Have you seen Disenchantment?
No.
Oh,
is it good?
Made me think of it's really funny. It's the main character, Bean.
Her name is Bean?
She's supposed to be like not very attractive and she's like bucktooth and stuff. She's very much about doing her own thing and fuck being a princess. It's really funny. But I immediately thought of Bean. Like, I saw Bean pull off the thing and her hair go everywhere. So they are both shocked and amazed at her size. Brienne is aware of how freakish she looks. She's bigger than the average man. So, like, even if she were a dude, she'd be much bigger than the other dudes. She's like the Hound size, I'm guessing. She's very muscular with huge hands and feet. She's a big person, not just woman, person. She asks the men if they had seen a young maid, blah blah blah. They have not, and they invite her to eat with them again. Brienne is wary of hedge knights and their shady reputations, and asks for their names. The younger one is Sir Creighton Longbow, and he is certain that Brienne has heard tales of his deeds at the Blackwater. And the older one is Sir Illiford the Penniless.
Relatable.
Brienne doesn't recognize their names or their sigils, but she stands a head taller than either of them and is much better armed, so she figures what the hell and joins them. The two men are heading to Duskendale as well, and Longbow insists they escort her as the open roads are no place for a lady. She tries to argue, but Longbow is stubborn and insists on the companionship. He is described as being very nearsighted, so I'm like, what? Maybe he doesn't quite understand what he's looking at. He just hears it's a woman talking to him. He's like,
Wait, which guy is this?
Longbow.
Wait, is that Creighton or is that Illiford?
Yeah, that's Creighton.
Okay.
Maybe he's just really sexist.
They mistook her for a man at first, so he can't be that nearsighted if he...
Yeah, if you saw like a huge person.
Yeah, he knows she's huge. They're just sexist.
Okay. The older knight, though, is offended by her sigil on the random shield that Jaime gave her from the armory. It's a bat on silver and gold. He says that his great-great-grandfather helped kill the last Lustin, and that she is bearing a liar's shield. She tries to explain that she lost her own shield, but Sir Illiford says that anyone willing to carry the sigil of such a terrible house has probably sinned even worse, and tells Creighton that this is Renly's murderer.
Oh my god. I mean, there's no other woman quite like her.
No. She says that is a lie and remembers her love for Renly and of their first meeting. She was 13 when he had come to Tarth on a leisurely coming-of-age tour, and her father had grown a big feast and celebration. She would have hid in her room all night if her father hadn't ordered her to come. She was very embarrassed of her size and looks and didn't want to be laughed at. Well, girl, I guess. Being really, really frightened of not fitting in. Renly, though, had been just as courteous to her as he would have been with any beautiful maid, and he danced with her and made her feel graceful.
Aww.
The other young lords, following his example, begged to dance with her all night. After that, she considered herself Renly's and only wanted to protect and serve him. She is very remorseful that she failed him. She swears by her sword that she did not kill him. Sir Illiford tells her to swear it by the 7, and so she does, one by one. He accepts it and tells her that the first watch is hers, and the 2 men go to sleep. Brienne paces the camp while they sleep, torn. She knows she should leave and continue her search, but she cannot abandon them when they're so vulnerable, sleeping like that. Eventually, Sir Illiford relieves her, and she goes to sleep. She awakens cold and stiff, and it pleases her that there are still good men in the world, because she was not molested in the night.
Thank God.
They have squirrel for breakfast, and they resume their journey. The 2 men on either side of her. Sir Crichton entertains her with tales of his exploits on the Blackwater, where he slew dozens of men whose names she did not know. Guy, wasn't the Blackwater like a while ago at this point?
Yes.
Reliving it every like word. Okay. I'm out of there. Around midday, they hear loud chanting filling the woods, and they come upon a group of 60 people being led by a group of begging brothers carrying weapons. The beggars halt at the sight of them and greet them. One of the beggars is shirtless and has a 7-pointed star carved into his breast. She recalls that Andal? Yeah. She recalls that Andal warriors carved the star on their chests when they first came to Westeros.
Oh, the Andals. Okay.
They are heading to King's Landing and ask them to join as they can use their swords. The Hedge Knights say they will for payment, but the Sparrows have no need of coin. They're like, what? What are Sparrows? Their Septon explains that they call themselves Sparrows because they are the humblest of birds, and they consider themselves the humblest of men. They are bringing with them the bones of murdered Septons, and are going to take them to Blessed Baelor and plan on confronting the king.
Good luck with that.
So they refuse to come with, and many of the Sparrows curse and threaten them, but their Septon silences them and reminds them that only the 7 can judge others, and bids them goodbye. Brienne asks them if they've seen blah blah blah, and they have not. Sir Crichton is startled at the idea, so they leave. And Sir Crichton is
They didn't
startled.
know where blah 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 was?
Oh. Where's blah blah blah? Where's...
Hey, have you guys seen blah blah blah?
Have you guys seen Red Haired Girl?
Auburn hair.
Oh, sorry. Sir Crichton is startled at the idea that there are people out there who would slaughter a Septon. And Brienne's like, that's cute. 3 hours later, they come upon another party. A merchant and his servants and a single hedge knight guarding them. They introduce themselves. Sir Crichton is the famous Sir Crichton Longbow, fresh from the Battle of the Blackwater. Because it just happened yesterday, apparently. Brienne asks if they've seen Red-Haired Girl.
Auburn!
They have not. Sir Crichton offers to ride with them as 4 swords are better than 1, and they agree. So they all travel together. The hedge knight, with the merchant, saddles up next to Brienne and starts mocking her looks, I'm guessing. But compared to Jaime, this guy's insults are pretty pathetic and they don't bother her. Damn, Jamie was... Jamie did a number on her.
Well,
But I guess she came out stronger.
I think
Tougher.
that maybe Jamie being like a proper knight and a highborn like she is could have made her kind of respect his opinion a little more, which maybe is what hurts a little more. Or maybe she just she respects him after everything they've been through, and that's kind of why his insult still bothers her. But I don't know.
Could be.
Because she did not start off respecting him, I would say.
No.
Maybe as a fighter.
Yeah.
But not
we didn't really get her chapters. We don't really know exactly how she felt when Jamie threw his insults at her.
That's true. All we really get is
Jamie's
her reactions
perception.
From his perspective, yeah.
So this hedge knight calls himself the Mad Mouse and tells her that they share a quest.
Oh.
The red-haired, blue-eyed girl she's looking for? Well, he's looking for Sansa Stark as well. Uh-oh.
Wait, but Sansa has auburn hair, not red.
Brienne tries to pretend that she has no idea who that is, but the Mad Mouse sees through her BS and offers to team up with her, and they can split the reward from Lord Varys. Brienne feels like a fool for not realizing that there would be others hunting for Sansa as well, and rides away from him. By night, they come across an inn. The merchant and his gang head in, but the two hedge knights don't have the coin to board. So Brienne buys them a room to share and supper in return for their kindness. Jamie had given her a fat purse of silver stags and copper stars, and a smaller purse stuffed with gold dragons, and a parchment commanding all loyal subjects of the king to assist her.
Damn!
Bam!
Damn!
Bruh.
Belle is rolling in it.
She is. Got that Lannister money.
And a letter from the king? Shit.
Yeah. Written in crayon, too. She listens as everyone feasts and drinks, not really participating. She overhears one of the locals asking the merchant if it's true that the Kingslayer lost his hand. The merchant confirms that a wolf bit it off. Brienne briefly butts in to say it was actually Cohoric sellsword. You're like, I believe wolf more.
Yeah.
I'd rather think a wolf did it.
Was it a wolf or was it some sellsword?
It was a wolf. A dire wolf.
Yeah.
Brienne remembers her fight with Jamie and how it had taken everything from her to keep him at bay. She is aware that he was still weak from his imprisonment and his hands were chained. And she thinks about how if he were at his full strength, no one could stand against him. And thinks that the removal of his hand was monstrously cruel, like cutting off a lion's paw and leaving him broken and bewildered. I did not realize this very much, because Jamie is so cocky, but I did not realize that he was probably super weak, or that his hands are chained. So it has me thinking, like, is Jamie Lannister the most skilled swordsman in Westeros?
I think that was kind of what people thought of him.
Yeah, like it was said, but like, who knows if it's true? But I guess you really know now, like it was true.
Well, we have a really good idea, yeah.
Yeah. Man, and I think 'cause in Jamie's cockiness, he also failed to realize this and thinks that of Brienne as being stronger than he is.
I mean, is she stronger than him? Maybe. Is she a better fighter than him? Probably not.
Yeah.
Did she beat him in a fight when he had his hands chained and was weak from imprisonment? Yes, she did.
Oh. Okay. Brienne gets overwhelmed in the common room and says her goodnights. Heads off to bed. Before getting into bed, she prays to the crone to lead the way to Sansa. Unfortunately, her bed is full of fleas and she is kept awake scratching. Gross, gross, gross. I'd rather sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
Eventually, she hears everyone turn in and the inn go quiet, and she knows what she must do. She packs up everything, sneaks out, and rides out in the darkness, determined to find Sansa.
Hell yeah! That's what I would have done.
I can't help but wonder if I were to put two characters against each other, Jaime at his prime and Jon Snow at his prime, who would win?
I think that Jaime would kill Jon Snow in 3 swings.
Probably. Because Jon Snow is described as being one of the greatest swordsmen as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, he is at the wall, but is he generally speaking?
I think I heard something about it.
Okay.
Might have been later on in the show, but...
Because I don't remember people at Winterfell ever thinking...
Oh, because he was a kid at Winterfell. He was never in a battle. But I think with, not Winterfell. He was just a boy. Now he's a seasoned man. Seasoned in battle.
Who was he actually having sword fights with at the wall, though?
I guess he did not actually take the sword in battle during the battles with the wildlings.
Yeah, and even when he is battling the wildlings, first, they are not disciplined, you could say. And I think use equipment that is more primal. So if it was, I think if we're thinking of like a straight up sword on sword,
yeah, it's not exactly fair to pit this guy with like, his armor and his whatchamacallit sword, dragon, no, not dragon, the special blade sword
Valyrian
against against a typical wildling with their iron. Yeah.
Not to mention his training by a master at arms in a castle.
True that.
And the wildlings, I think they're more used to fighting. I mean, I don't know. They could be used to fighting other people, but I would say they're probably more
It'd be other wildlings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they probably fight other wildlings.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say maybe like wildlife and like just sort of survival kind of scraps. And less like, because don't they like sneak into each other's homes in like the dead of night kind of thing?
Huh? Sneaking in each other's homes? Who?
The wildlings.
Do they do that?
Yeah, to like steal each other's wives and shit.
Oh, take wives, yeah.
So I would think that their fighting style would just be very different.
Yeah.
But let's look up that Duskendale stuff.
Duskendale. What is important about Duskendale?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Huh?
Yep, we were pretty much right. After Roose Bolton decides to turn against his king, Robb, he treacherously sends 3,000 Northern infantry under the command of Robert Glover and Sir Helmund Tallheart against Duskendale. They are ambushed and destroyed almost completely by a combined Lannister-Tarly force under the command of Randall Tarly and the Mountain, exactly as Roose planned. The defeat, followed by the next fiasco at the Ruby Ford, which also has been orchestrated by Roose, costs Robb Stark about 1/3 of his infantry and seriously weakens his army.
1/3.
1/3.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
That is a big chunk gone.
No wonder he was pissed. Yes, and I knew it was gonna be fucking Roose Bolton ass. Fucking Bolton.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Okay, well, now we understand. Alright.
Finally. It took us long enough to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really know how to look it up, I guess. But this was surprisingly easy. Alright, well, any last thoughts or anything?
Brienne is cool.
What's kind of funny is that after watching Game of Thrones, like, when did Brienne show up? Season 2?
Yeah, it was around time of Renly.
Right. So, like, a couple seasons with Brienne into the series, I kind of created my own character who was sort of modeled after her a little bit.
Ooh.
Just in that she is a large woman soldier. So I wrote a story, and I'm still technically writing it because I never finish anything, about her and her experiences as a soldier for the king's army, being a large woman. And reading this chapter felt kind of like I was reading my own writing, which was really interesting.
Oh shit. Dope.
Yeah, just in like kind of her experiences with people reacting to her size and being mistaken for a man, and yeah, all that stuff. So it was pretty interesting.
It is. I didn't quite realize just how big she was. I just thought she was big for a woman, but to learn that she was bigger than most men.
Yeah, I think
and being described as being like almost Gollum-like with how huge she is.
Yeah, she was.
It's pretty insane. I'm like, whoa.
Described as being like big for a man and like huge for a woman or something like
just
that.
Covered in muscles.
Yeah.
To the point where like she doesn't really have breasts because her pecs are so freaking big.
Yeah. Have you seen the character from Last of Us 2, Abigail?
No.
No? Okay, let me find a... She was a very uniquely designed character, and I thought it was cool. I'm typing Duskendale again. Abigail, Last of Us 2. Let me send you a picture. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. This is Abigail.
Ooh. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of Korra.
Who?
From The Legend of Korra.
Oh!
She's muscular. So cool.
Yeah. So,
like her arms look like that. Those are muscular arms. I always like Korra because they don't make her feminine. They just make her look like a warrior. And I'm like, fuck. This is what I need. Yeah, please. I love it when they make girls look like warriors instead of like sexy strippers who battle on this as a sidekick.
Yeah, it's like it just makes me think of women armor in video games. Just like the less you're wearing, the more armored you are.
The fucking titty armors. Fuck that. I need a little room for my tit, please.
Yeah.
Imagine like just putting them in there.
Putting your tits in titty armor?
Into like an armor that has specialized areas for boobs. Like the boob armors.
Yeah. I think that might have been a thing in like Viking times. I don't know. But I appreciated in Star Wars when they were oh shit, what was her name?
Did they do that on Star Wars?
Yeah, what was that character's name?
I thought a lot of people complained because she wasn't sexy enough.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying. I was appreciating it in Star Wars that they didn't like change the armor to make it more feminine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and
freaking neckbeards were mad because it wasn't a sexy armor.
Oh my god, literally, just fucking shut up.
Get a life.
What was her character's name in Star Wars?
What's the actress's name? And just do that. Star Wars. Okay, Brianna Tarth, Star Wars. It'll know what you're saying.
Gwendolyn Christie, that's her name.
Ah, she has a pretty name. How about that?
Yeah.
Gwendolyn.
Who are you in Star Wars? What's your fucking name? It's a sick name, too. Star Wars. Captain Phasma. Hell yeah.
Captain Phasma?
Yeah.
Fucking cool.
Hell yeah. Anyway, yeah. Captain Phasma in Star Wars basically just looks like a chrome stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Which is dope. Something
That's what's
else
awesome.
I noticed about that movie, Force Awakens, is that at one point Kylo Ren speaks to just a random stormtrooper for like half a second in the hallway and then like walks on when he's looking for Rey. And the stormtrooper is a woman.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I just thought it was really cool that they just
Disney
threw in
just
a
adding chicks in there.
yeah, just threw in a random female stormtrooper just because, like, obviously that makes sense that there would be female stormtroopers.
Yeah, there would be female. There's female Jedi. Why the fuck are there not female stormtroopers?
Yeah, especially when in this version for the First Order, the stormtroopers are just like being plucked from their families as babies. Like, why would they just choose boys and have half the amount that they could have had?
Yeah, for reals.
So, yeah, I just appreciated that as well. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this, with the Game of Thrones.
Other than the actress.
Yeah. But I guess that's it.
Oh.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast or follow us individually. My handle is Crimby and Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we will show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of the episode, and he makes some really cool music. That's Bahram. You can also find him on Spotify as Bahrambient. That's Bahrambient. And please check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, including outtakes, BTS stuff, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he absolutely hates. So it makes for some fun discussions/arguments. Finally, if you would be willing to share the podcast with your family and your friends, it would be a huge help to us to grow the podcast. Thank you so much. And next time we have Samuel.
Same.
And who else?
Arya.
Sam and Arya. So
Ooh. I'm gonna check out Essos for the first time.
Arya and
book.
Essos. See what Sam and Jon are up to now that Jon is Lord Commander.
Oof. Exciting.
Oh,
I wonder if
shit.
Stannis has left already.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. All right. I'm pumped. Okay. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.